I've been thinking a lot about this, and I think what has happened, one of the main contributors of the destruction of black people today is the fact that black women have completely rejected the authority of the black man.
Because they understood that the black woman and the black man are on the same side. Now that we are all free and independent and we could do whatever we want to, why would we seek to, be one with the black man?
Most women today. And I'm laying it at the feet of the women today. This is not to absolve men. Granted. For the past 50 so years, we've all heard the names: deadbeats, sorry ass nigga, this, that, and the third, scrubs, all that. We've heard the degradation of men for the longest. But there's so many social conventions right now that just encourage women, especially black women today, to not believe that a man is required.
Mom, it's Miss K back, the social worker.
Society gave us no choice. Tried to silence my voice, pushing you.
And I believe the woman today has become so enamored by her own ego. The black woman in particular has become so enamored by her own ego, has been so pedestalized, so immortalized, that within the past, like I told you the other night, within the past 50 years, there has been a matriarchy dominating our community.
The average woman doesn't really want just a good man. She doesn't want a husband. What she's really wanting are these standards or ideas that she has of what a man is supposed to be.
How long do you think? So the question that I have right now,
Talk to me.
One question I do want to pose is, how long do you think this pedestalization of African American and black women has gone on
for the past 50, since the 60s? Since the sexual liberation movement, since the feminist movement, since the inception of the feminist movement, and since the Lyndon B. Johnson Great Society.
So you believe, and I'm not disagreeing.
No, go ahead.
I just want to ask a question.
I got you.
Because some would argue otherwise, right? I got you. You believe that since the 1950s, in the 1960s, the sexual revolution included, obviously, right? As well as the women's rights movement included. Women have been held to a higher standard than men have in regards to what?
In regards to their role, I believe the order of the house is solely dependent on a woman's ability to cooperate.
But we pride ourselves to being strong, independent black women.
And a man's ability
to lead.
Right?
To lead, yes.
Two part.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Granted. You hear it. You've heard it for decades. Deadbeats. They left my child. Blah, blah, blah. He's not helping out. But we have not. I don't think we have, as a culture, have actually sat down and actually focused on what actually takes place in a home with an angry woman.
Technically, your daddy ain't. If you knew how small your daddy was, if you knew how small your motherfucking daddy was, he ain't. That nut on my lip and it swim to the top.
I don't think we sat down and talked about
it. Minus the man.
Minus the man?
Oh, because
that's deep.
Think about it though. Why did that?
Well, we do know.
What?
I mean, I'm saying as in regards to the question that he posed. I mean, what happens in the home with a woman, with an angry woman,
impatient woman,
angry woman, void of a man's.
That's what I'm saying.
Direction.
We do know though. You can see the result of it a lot of times.
Let's say we went,
but you can see the result, right?
Right.
Now this is the only thing that I can think of as I'm saying this, right? Is you can see the result, but you don't necessarily know what happened because you weren't there. We aren't there to see.
Well,
how things transpire within a household void of a man. You can say that you can see the result because you can see the result and the end result of what happens when men aren't in households, men aren't governing and leading as we are supposed to be in a generalized
context, right?
Context of of the roles that we're supposed to play, right?
Right.
Me personally, I'm gonna just say this, right? I believe that there is a lot of pain, a lot of confusion, a lot of distrust, a lot of envy, a lot of rage. It does happen, and on a positive scale, I also believe that there's a lot of patience, respect, admiration.
I just didn't want this to. I didn't mean to cut you off, but I didn't want to just get knocked over.
Humility that takes place as well, because in order to be put in a position or a situation where you are forced to, and I'm not saying forced as in that you didn't have a choice, but just per se, I'm going to give an example as to where a man left the woman, or the relationship didn't last and the husband is not in the household, or maybe he passed away, whatever the case may be, right? The woman is there by herself, taking care or trying to create this household structure, this family structure, or this foundation for her children to be raised again, right? I personally believe that within that frame, there's a lot of things that we don't see that happen, and we don't take into consideration.
Such as what?
Such as how much. Okay, let's give an example. I'll give you a better example. Per se, me as the husband, or me as the man who had a child with a woman, or was accused, or I would say accused, right, of having a child with a woman, right? And I say that's not my responsibility. I'm being irresponsible in that regard, and I don't want to carry that responsibility. Chill out.
Love that.
Shut up. You just slapped me in the face.
That's a punch. Ain't no slap. Go ahead. Go ahead.
No. But no, like, just give the hypothetical, right? A man isn't in the household. Maybe he chose to leave, depending on whatever the circumstances were in the household. Maybe he didn't want to be there because they couldn't get along, right? The responsibility of the children's upbringing still depends and is solely determined by the woman, because that is her child. It is our children to raise, but if the man isn't there to be that person to raise those children, then what is she left with, other than a responsibility that takes two people? So I would say, me personally, I'm just giving this perspective. I believe that there's a lot of humility that goes into that role.
Well, so
okay.
and
Fair point.
So here's my take on it. Well, I'm gonna start it off with the question.
Give him all right, good shit.
Where do you guys believe the buck stops when it comes to a family? Period.
The buck stops with the man.
Man. So what we've been seeing for the last 40, 50, 60 years, from my perspective, is the result of is what things look like when they're carried out the wrong way, as in woman playing both roles in the household, absent man,
mama and daddy,
with children. So that's just a fact, because it wasn't designed to be that way. You know, it took two to tango to make the child. It takes two to raise a child. That's just how it's supposed to be naturally. And so,
can I play devil's advocate one time?
Sure.
Okay, I just want to jump in there, but like, who's to say though?
Who's to say what?
And I'm not saying that I'm wrong. You're wrong.
No, who's to say what?
Who's to say that that's the natural selection of the natural
evolutionary biology,
biological
evolutionary biology.
No, wait, the evolutionary biological
order
template to raise human beings, because in the animal kingdom you have multiple entities or creatures, whatever you want to call them, who raise children or you know.
Yeah, but name a species that thrives. Name a female species that thrives without the group, or
I'm not saying
male.
That, no, I'm not saying that they don't.
So
but my thing is, though, I mean, of course we can. I mean, human beings and animals have similarities, right?
Right.
Human beings and animals have differences.
Right.
So when it comes to raising a child, because a boy, right, needs to see an example of a man to emulate.
I totally agree.
Right. A girl also needs to see an example of a man so that when she goes out to start dating or courting to find a significant other / husband, she can have something to go off of.
You can vet the.
So without that man around, aka father, to me, primarily because of that reason, among others, that's why I feel like it is important for man and woman to be raising that child together. Mm-hmm. Now, I would even go so far as to say that, of course, sometimes a relationship doesn't work out, but even in a separation state, man and woman can still raise a child.
Yeah,
co-parent.
Let me speak.
Coexist.
Well, I didn't even get to my point.
Go ahead.
My thing is, I've said this many times, but I do see what's been happening as a result of, if we're talking about black people, as a result of the black woman being in charge of the household and playing both roles. And I think that we can clearly see from my perspective that it's not a working arrangement. But ultimately, because the buck does stop with the man, and because men are the leaders of the family, and so when you're leading something, the successes and failures of whatever you're leading is a result of the leader. That's where the buck stops. And so if the family fell apart, it's because the man wasn't able to do what he's supposed to do, as in, give order to his woman for her to give to the children, provide, protect, lead, XYZ. He wasn't strong enough to keep the family together. And if the woman was, I would say, trash to begin with, as in, there's trash women, there's trash men, then the fact that man laid with that woman and then had children by her without vetting her first, and then couldn't, keep it together after that still, to me, is a result of choices, and then a failure to lead a dysfunctional family and lead it to a better path. So I'm agreeing with the fact that, what we've been seeing is a result of the woman trying to do it by herself, which she cannot do. And you can see proof of that with our, the neighborhoods that consist of households, families, where it's just a woman raising multiple children by herself.
Right. And I just want to point out that, for the viewers, and y'all probably gonna hate me for this, we're not talking about the one-offs either.
You said the one-offs?
No, that's not a slap. That's a slap to the audience. That's a slap to the audience.
We just do that. We just do like...
Hey, it's 3 too, whenever you need to hit it.
All right, bet.
It's 3, you hear me?
No, so what I was saying, we're not talking about the one-offs where you have a situation where somebody does become successful under the leadership and role of a woman's leadership.
Right, because a broken clock is right 2 times a day at least.
Yeah, so right. I'm not saying, I just want to put that in there, you know what I mean, and interject. But,
right. That what?
Yeah, continue.
That what?
He's just saying that every once in a while, a woman can produce, working situation, basically.
Those are outliers.
That's what I'm saying. A broken clock is right 2 times a day.
Right. This is not to diminish those women who are out there. I was raised in a single parent household.
Right.
My mom raised all 3 of us.
All women who do the damn thing and actually figure out how to make it happen. Like, that's a beautiful thing to see. It's messed up that it does have to.
Right, because it's not supposed to be that way.
Right. Yeah. I feel for y'all. I respect y'all. I appreciate y'all. I love y'all for that. And so much more power to you in regards to that situation, because that's a beautiful thing when it does happen the correct way.
Simp, valedictorian of his high school.
But what we're gonna do is, so my thing is, yeah, granted, those happen. My mom raised all 3 of us. Wasn't the most ideal situation. But just to go back to what takes place in these homes.
Quick question.
Go ahead.
Out of the 3 people that are sitting here on this camera, how many of us come from a
broken home?
Single parent home.
So I was raised by my dad, not my mom.
But single parent.
Single parent, yeah. Yeah. So yeah.
Broken home.
Yeah.
Broken home.
Which is also not how it's supposed to be. You're not. Ideally speaking, I believe. If you're asking me, ideally speaking.
But again, not
one more.
mother. It's 3. You can hit it anytime. It's there just for you.
Did they have help as well? That's the second question.
Yes.
Help. Wait, what do you mean by help?
Yes.
Did you have a figure on the opposite side of the
a woman,
gender, whether it's male or
female, right? Well, yeah.
That guided you into a path of manhood.
No.
Well, you did. I mean, or
I didn't have a motherly figure. No.
You didn't.
No.
Okay.
And I didn't have a fatherly figure.
And you didn't have a fatherly.
I had friends, you know what I mean, who referred to me as their second son just because I'm close with their.
There was somebody in your life.
But I wouldn't call them like, I didn't grow up calling anybody mom.
No.
Outside of my mom.
No,
like,
I'm not saying that. Just to show you an example of what a good.
Oh, I mean, for example wise, I mean my grandmother.
Okay, there you go. Yeah. So that's what I'm referring to.
Yeah,
Big
okay,
mama.
Big same here. So me as well. I had mom and I had my dad on the side.
I had grandmommy.
We all had.
Rest in peace, grandmommy.
Right.
Likewise, rest in peace.
I love my grandmommy, y'all. She gone though.
Gone.
Anyway, she did.
I was just about to say.
Anyway,
yeah, slap yourself.
So my thing is not to take anything, not to extract any sort of quality
from the woman
that is holding it down, doing the best she can, and trying to facilitate relationship between the kids and their father. Not to take anything from those women.
But the only reason why the norm is mother raising children minus father when it doesn't work out is because, to my opinion, is because of the court system.
Oh yeah.
If it wasn't for the court system, it wouldn't even be like this on a regular basis.
These are the social conventions that buttresses these women that find themselves in these predicaments. These are the support systems that these women have when they find themselves in these single
and they know that
households. And a lot of women, unfortunately, not to diminish from the quality women, but those who take advantage of these social conventions and and a lot of these systems that incentivize that sort of lifestyle. These women, they have in a sense they got a security blanket, and there's no real justifiable reason to be with a man if you have a supplemental source of security.
Yeah, that's a fact.
You know what I mean?
Well, that's the thing. It's like
and that's
it's
what
like
it's looking like.
They've been taught they've been taught or led to believe that the government assistance is more valuable than what a man provides.
Man, I was looking it up, bro. I was looking at the stats, man. Over 41% of black single mother households take advantage of TANF. Is it TANF? TANF? The government programs. 41%.
So like government programs.
Yeah,
because it might be different for different states.
Right. Well, it's called TAN. It's a federal program, so it's across the nation. It's called TA. I'm probably pronouncing it. It's TANF. It's an acronym. I can't remember what it stands for.
Devil's advocate, do you believe that statistic is the way it is due to lack of knowledge or lack of inequity in some regards to males?
I think that statistic is what it is because that's what the data shows.
No, I know that's what the data shows, but I'm asking.
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Like I want to know, like, do you guys believe that statistic is the way that it is, and that number is what it is due to the lack of information or the lack of accessibility to men?
You said accessibility to what?
Men.
To men, yeah.
To men?
For the women, the women's accessibility to men?
No, I'm talking about those particular
those stats.
No, not the statistics. I'm talking about the governmental program.
Oh, okay. Sorry, say it one more time. I'm sorry.
Right.
I'm slow.
I'm slow as shit.
I'm slow.
I'm trying to follow it.
So it's a 2-part question, right? There's 2 parts to it, but it's one question.
Go ahead.
Do you believe that these particular governmental assistance programs
Mm-hmm.
aren't being used. I'm gonna say it in a different term, right? Aren't being used due to the lack of information given to men, or the lack of accessibility.
Oh, I got you.
To men.
Right.
Oh, to men.
Yes.
Oh, okay, got you. No, I think men are just less likely to pursue government assistance.
Give me 1 second. I'm sorry. I gotta get some headphones. Keep going.
I think men are just less likely to pursue government assistance. One, because it's not really in a man's nature to like just be dependent. Exactly.
Right,
and then two, it's typically the woman who has the children. So if anybody's going to need government assistance, it's going to be the woman with the children, not the man. But even the man with, not to say that men with children don't apply for government assistance.
Exactly.
But I would say more times than not, it's the woman with children applying for government assistance.
Agreed. So says the statistics.
Right.
Right. So I was just wondering, how do you guys feel about where that statistic comes from?